Expert consulting, one-on-one training, and full-service bookkeeping. Jay Zolo and Associates, simplifying your books so you can win on and off the field. Visit jzolo.com today. That's JZOLLO.com.
The pink smoke is taking over South Florida. Listen to Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba and Inter Miami in their pursuit of an MLS Cup all season long right here on ESPN 106.3.
Messi, left foot, in on Guzan, tips it up and over, it's a goal! Lionel Messi is on the board!
Listen to it all on the ESPN South Florida app, brought to you by PNC Bank, Audi, and Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath.
Touchdown! Racetrack is proud to support our local high school football teams. Whether it's Friday night lights or tailgate parties, Racetrack has whatever gets you going to fuel all the gridiron excitement this fall. Grab your favorite snacks, crispy chips, delicious Nathan's hot dogs, sweet treats, or our house-made pizza slices. Don't forget to quench your thirst with a variety of ice-cold drinks. Racetrack, your one-stop shop to fuel your football Fridays.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Huddle up.
66 Hitch X Vegas Flare. I'm one ready.
It's time to break down the boldest plays.
Let's go, baby. Boom.
Hardest hits. And the craziest stories from around the NFL.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Well, we're actually in the thick of a game right now, too. It is the Dublin game. Steelers-Vikings. Steelers just went down the field at the end of the first quarter. They scored 7-3 is the score with about a minute to go in the first quarter. Aaron Rodgers started the game 8 of 8 passing the football. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Colin Russo with you. We got Cade Shumson at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. It's Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Got you for the next 2 hours today. Got a big week 4 ahead. Some good implicating matchups, including the battle of some undefeateds down in Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers Eagles. You got Jackson Dart making his career debut, season debut today against the 3-0 Los Angeles Chargers. The Giants at 0-3 after making the midweek move to bench Russell Wilson. Some other big games today. You have the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Colts at 3-0, the big surprise of the NFL season. They are on Fox 405 in Los Angeles. Should be a good one there. Also in Santa Clara, the Jacksonville Jaguars going on the road to take on the San Francisco 49ers, who have their quarterback, Brock Purdy, healthy and ready to go. And then also you have your CBS 425 game, Ravens, Chiefs, both teams at 1-2. So a big surprise there. We didn't expect either of those teams to probably have that record at this point in the season. I wouldn't say it's a do or die game, but we'll get into that momentarily. That is at 425. And also tonight, Green Bay Packers are taking on the Dallas Cowboys in AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Lauded as the Micah Parsons return game. I think this is completely overplayed. Completely overplayed. Who cares that he is going back to play Dallas? Dallas is 1-2 and just got blown out by the Chicago Bears. I mean, there are bigger things at hand than Micah Parsons getting his revenge on somebody like, Dak Prescott. Prescott didn't do anything to him. Like, Prescott's a good guy. Nonetheless, it's Hard Rock Bet presented by our Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet. Go get started today. Download the app now because Hard Rock Bet is your place to be. Put just $5 into the app and bet $5. If you win your first $5 bet, you get $150 in bonus bets immediately. Also, if you refer a friend, you get $50 in referral bets as well. That's $200 in bonus bets right then and there. We're doing basically nothing. You can do that right now on the app. Go down to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. You get the MLB postseason. It is game 162 today from throughout the MLB season. The Cincinnati Reds are looking to keep the New York Mets out of the postseason. They take on the Milwaukee Brewers, who have already clinched the number 1 overall seed throughout the NL postseason. So they're okay. They don't need the game, but they're going to still play their starters. So it should be a good one. 3 o'clock with the Cincinnati Reds and the New York Mets, who are 21 games over 500 in June, are now in danger of falling out of a wild card spot with that big payroll. big disgrace there without the amount of resources that they've done. But you could bet all of that game by game, live bet, player by player, player props, all on the app, on the Hard Rock Bet app. Try to Discover page and see what other users are putting together, see what type of creative parlays that they're cooking up for week 4 of the NFL slate or for the Ryder Cup, which happens today. If you really want good odds, how about you take the United States to win the whole thing? I mean, geez, unbelievable. We'll get into that as well. But that's on the Hard Rock Bet app. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus. Physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-MINUTE. Well, okay, we got a couple of things to cover here. We'll stay in the NFL for right now. I think the game, has the most implication because the Buccaneers and the Eagles are really good, regardless of what happens. The Colts and the Rams, I think, are both really good, regardless of what happens. The Ravens and the Chiefs, one of the two is walking out of that game. It's in Kansas City. One of those two teams is walking out of there 1-3. One of those two teams is going to be behind the 8 ball in, at least for the Chiefs' sake, if the Chiefs lose in a very tough division. And if the Ravens lose 1-3, I mean, you're digging yourself out of a hole for 3 weeks just to get back to where you were. I think this is the most implicating game of the day, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to say that any team who loses this game is in danger of missing the postseason.
This is one of those games. You had a conversation with Mike Rizzo on Russo and Rizzo from 4 to 6 p.m. from Monday through Friday. You had a conversation a few weeks back about the difference between watching a game in full and then watching Red Zone, which is basically a highlight reel.
Right.
This is one of those games I feel like you have to watch the game from start to finish in order to get the full picture. I don't think a box score is going to be able to tell you
Definitely not.
what these teams are when it comes to this full season. Because if I look at a box score where it's a 3-point game, I'll be like, all right, both these teams are good. They'll move on. But if the Ravens blow a 14-plus lead again, then I'm thinking, okay, the Ravens really cannot pull through on these games, and I'm nervous about them in the postseason.
Right. How can they run the ball? And more importantly, is this going to be a 24-19 game that favors the Chiefs, or is this going to be a 38-35 game that favors the Ravens?
I think there's going to be so many things to analyze, even the little things about how people are acting on the sideline, whether Derrick Henry's going to fumble the ball again. It seems like he's done that 3 straight times in the fourth quarter. I think there's a lot of things you're going to be interested about because I could come from this game thinking the Chiefs are totally fine, they'll be okay, or the Chiefs season is completely over. If this is completely dominated by the Ravens, Chiefs are done. I don't care what happens the rest of the season. I'm ready to say that at a 1-3 record for the Chiefs, where they seem to have zero offensive production. The Ravens so far have been able to put up 30-plus points this entire season.
Yeah, they
so
look
far.
like the Ravens. They do. They look like the Ravens.
Now, their defense obviously
has a lot of issues.
Has had some tells, but if it's going up against a weak Chiefs defense, I took this team in my cover 5 group. I think this could be a blowout for the Ravens.
Wow.
If it's not, I'll feel a little bit better about the Chiefs. This, to me, tells way more about the Chiefs than it does the Ravens. I know the Ravens can score. It's whether their defense will show up. So very curious to see how KC will handle this tonight.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There's probably more on the line for Kansas City, especially if they were to lose yet another big home game in that building. They already lost to the Philadelphia Eagles about 2 weeks ago. And if they were to lose again and fall to 1-3, I mean, let's think about it from the Ravens' perspective. If the Ravens were to lose this game, you would have lost 3 games to the Lions, Bills, and Chiefs. All right. 3 of the top 5. I mean, outside of the Chiefs, maybe 3 of the top 5, at least in a postseason spot. You don't want to see either of those 3 teams, any of those 3 teams. But the rest of the way, at least in the next 8 weeks, here's what the Ravens have in terms of schedule. They have the Texans, who are terrible right now. They have the Rams, who are good. Bears, question marks. Then they got the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Browns, the Jets, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Bengals.
Their home to away schedule is so weird.
So weird.
They're on the road, then they have 3 straight at home, then 3 straight on the road, then 3 straight at home again.
Right. But to finish off the year, I mean, of the teams remaining on the schedule, the Texans are not making the postseason. I hate to burst that bubble, Kate.
Hold on. Hold your horses just a little bit.
Nope. The Bears are probably not making the postseason. The Dolphins, probably not making the postseason. The Browns are definitely not. The Jets are definitely not. The Bengals, probably not. Steelers, I guess jury's out. There are not a lot of postseason teams remaining on the schedule. They had a gauntlet to start, and then they got the Packers at the end of the year. but that division is not what it was. This Raven team could win 8 in a row here pretty soon.
Easy.
So if they can, I'm not worried about them really at all because we know they could score. They probably have a top 2 player in the entire league. I think Derrick Henry's going to be fine. You can't read too far into the fumble issues. I mean, the guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But on the other side of things, if you're the Chiefs and you were to fall to 1-3, they at Jacksonville next week. Hello?
Scary.
Scary indeed. Then they got the Lions. They're not winning that game. I know it's at home, but then they got the Lions. And then 3 weeks pass, then you get the Bills and then the Broncos. This is a tough schedule, tough fur.
You still have to play the Chargers again, who you already lost to.
Still got to play, yeah, and you still got to play the Broncos twice.
Raiders always play them tough too.
So that whole division does.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tougher spot for the Chiefs, more on the line for the Chiefs. They need to win. They need to win this game. Because if you're 1-3, I know the Chiefs can do it. If there's anybody that can dig themselves out of a hole with a tough schedule, it is Kansas City. But at a certain point, their pedigree is not going to carry them through these conversations. We know how good they were. Is that how good they are? And the answer is probably not. This is a different Chief team than what we're used to. And I think that there's a lot more soul searching that they need to do than maybe we're so programmed to believe that Kansas City is going to be fine because that's what we've been led to believe since Patrick Mahomes was drafted. And since for that 6-7 years, we have been programmed to believe that whatever happens, Kansas City will be in the AFC Championship game because that's all they've ever been in. This might be the year where things does not sort of shake out the way that Kansas City wants it to be. I think if I agree with you. I think if the Chiefs win today, I'm not ready to write them off because, again, I'm so programmed to believe that they'll be okay. But if they're going to start the season 0-2 at home with a much harder schedule comparatively to somebody like Baltimore, it might be too little too late to dig themselves out because you're like, what are you going to expect? You can't score, but you're going to beat the Lions? The Lions are going to put 40 on you guys.
Yeah.
That's where I get nervous. And they've been aging. We know they've been aging. They don't have there's an obvious part to the team that they do not have the playmakers they once did. And that is talked about just about every broadcast. They don't have the offensive output. Travis Kelce is not as great as he was. I mean, he's a 34-year-old tight end. But Mahomes is also not playing well at all. Maybe that's a product of what his receivers are and what his, the team is. But I thought that Mahomes game against Philadelphia, I thought he was terrible in that game. He was okay at best in this Giant game. The Giants were awful last week on Sunday Night Football in MetLife. And the Chiefs were able to win, but the Giants had opportunities still.
Well, I think Mahomes played down to their level, too. Right. We don't talk about enough about he threw 2 backwards passes, had to recover one of them himself.
Which is an honest, and you could spin that into a good play because it kind of was impressive how he did not turn the ball over there.
The only reason you can spin that into a good play is because Collinsworth made it spin into a good play.
That's Collinsworth all over.
It was terrible. It was such an awful play. He's literally doing everything he can to get it to a guy when he needs to just throw the ball away. I thought Mahomes played awful last week.
Yeah.
He has
no one to throw to. He has not played well all year. He hasn't played well all year.
Kelsey's dropping passes. That offense is struggling.
I agree. I think there's some reason for panic if you are Kansas City here, because if you fall to 0-3, Jacksonville Monday Night Football, Jacksonville's going to be into that game. Now, listen, a professional loser versus a professional winner. I mean, if I would, money on the line, I had to, sacrifice something. I'm probably putting my money on the Chiefs, unfortunately, but that's neither here nor there. We'll worry about that next Monday. But from where I sit today, Kansas City's got a lot more on the line today against the Ravens comparatively than what the Ravens do, because the Ravens have such an easy schedule. That AFC North is not what it was. And it's not just because Burrow went down. The Steelers, who just went 70 yards, DK Metcalf, big touchdown, 14-3. They lead the Vikings in Dublin. Vikings aren't that great either. So let's get that out of the way. But the Steelers are not what they were. And I know the Steelers usually play the Ravens right. And the Browns are the Browns. The Browns are just going to be a little bit of a trap game, and they already beaten the Browns. That's not a great division anymore. That great division's in the AFC West. That's where this game has a lot of intrigue to it as well. On top of that, the other games in the NFL schedule today, Eagles and Tampa Bay. If there's one team that has boogeymaned the Eagles, it's Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay beat them in the postseason 2 years ago after that year where the Eagles' post-Super Bowl run started 11-0, sort of fell apart in the second half of the year, and then lost that first game in bad fashion to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's sort of been their boogeyman. And Tampa Bay is another team that has sort of pulled off a Chiefs impression where they can win close, and they have won ugly, and they sort of churn games out. It sort of falls into their lap. They make the right plays at the exact right time to win games. That game, 1 o'clock on Fox, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, if there's a time, two sides to this. It might show that, all right, there's one team in the NFC that just has Philadelphia's number. Rams play them well, but Tampa Bay can beat them. Or it would be the biggest get the monkey off your back moment for Philadelphia if they're able to take down Tampa Bay. And I think that's what their mindset is going to be going into the game, which is why I actually think Philadelphia is going to win this game. And I know Philadelphia probably had business to lose last week, and so did Tampa Bay. But I think if there's a get the monkey off your back moment, I think it's going to be today in Philadelphia for Philly.
You cannot be more excited for this game if you're either fandom, right? You're Tampa Bay, you're 3-0, you want to go 4-0, make a statement against Super Bowl champions. But if you're the Eagles, you just saw Jalen Hurts play one of the greatest games of his career last week and special teams show up in one of the best ways possible. The Eagles are riding on the biggest momentum high possible right now, and they're going into a slaughterhouse. This is going to be a ridiculously gritty defensive game, in my opinion. Maybe it could be a shootout. I don't know. I see this game maybe in the low to mid 20s. I don't think these teams are going to get into the 30s.
I tend to agree.
So it's going to be whoever has the ball at the end, probably one score game. I think this is the game of the week. I'm sad it's not a primetime game, but shout out to everyone in Tampa Bay who are going to get a beautiful game early on in this season. 2-3-0 teams. I'm stoked about how this matchup's going to play out. I think Philadelphia will be able to work all of their offensive production units. I think Tampa Bay is going to show us a lot of toughness on defense. Literally, probably whoever has the ball last. I'm stoked.
Yeah, they've each won one-score games, and they're both 3-0. And Tampa Bay was not fortunate, but they made crucial plays at the end of the game to beat the Falcons. They made crucial plays at the end of the game to beat the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football. And they made crucial plays last week when the Jets sort of gave them a final punch before things closed out. And on the other side of things, Philadelphia's done a lot of the same. Philadelphia mostly controlled that Kansas City game. It wasn't as close as the score indicates. But Philadelphia against Dallas, that was a back-and-forth game. They made the crucial plays at the end of it. And on top of it, last week, like Cade said, that was one of the best games of Hurts' career. You have any questions about Hurts? He threw 200 yards in the second half. I mean, at what point can we stop, barking at him to throw the ball over the field? He can when he wants to. Is he as great skilled as some of the other throwers in the league? No, but he's a better winner than all of them. That's where you got to give him credit. This is a great game from the sense that there's a playoff preview feel to it. It feels like you're going to get this matchup again later in the year. And it feels like Tampa Bay is going to be that thorn in the side, Giants to the Patriots type of team. And if there's just one team that has Philly's number and, a dynasty-like run that Philadelphia is probably going to go out here, it might be Tampa Bay. It might be that team that just, they don't see the boogie. They don't see the scare. They don't get scared. It's like Alabama against Georgia, which we saw last night. And Alabama went into Georgia and controlled the game. If there's one team, and Georgia won 55 straight conference games in that building, but they're 1-10 against Alabama in their last 11 matchups. If there's one team that could be the boogeyman to the great team, maybe it's Tampa Bay. I'm kind of psyching myself into picking Tampa Bay in this game. We'll have to make some picks a little later on in the program. But what we will do is we have a Dublin game on right now, 14-3 with about 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Pittsburgh is leading Minnesota. Minnesota, who blew the doors off of the Cincinnati Bengals last week in a couple defensive touchdowns. But we'll get into the rest of the NFL slate. We'll get into some of the headline hierarchy. We'll give you a Ryder Cup update and what went down yesterday on the Saturday slate. And we also have all the singles starting at just around noon. So we got a lot to look forward to on that front. So stick around for that. That's all coming on the other side. You got that Cade Chumsland behind the glass. Colin Russo here at Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet and ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Tina, I've been looking everywhere for you.
Hey, Colin, what's up?
How's the gym?
It's been great. I'm seeing results. My sports-certified Vitacost products have made a world of difference.
Oh, same. Isn't it great? Vitacost is basically the reason I've been able to keep up with Ironman training. Everything you need is in one place for my BCAAs, protein, and electrolytes. Best part, it's all clean and free of banned substances.
Go re-up on your supplements today. Visit Vitacost.com and use code ESPN20 for 20% off. Level up your game with Vitacost.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or BradleyAir.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Experience the power and prestige of the new 2025 Range Rover Sport P530 Dynamic SE. Now available for lease at just $15.29 a month for 36 months. With $89.95 due at signing, you'll be behind the wheel of true luxury and performance. But hurry, offers like this don't last forever. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and drive the future of sophistication. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Hey, it's Theo, and let's be real. Moving sucks. Boxes, packing, all that stress. Who's got time for it? That's why there's Safebound Moving and Storage. We handle everything. Whether you're moving local or long distance, we offer a headache-free experience, just the way moving should be. Get your free quote today at safeboundmoving.com, because every move should feel safe with Safebound.
Punch right Zach, 15 tip scissors, can it to 300 jet F stick. X has got a quick high corner. Be ready to keep attacking.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Cade Shumslin with you at the State of Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We're on your radio dial, ESPN 106.3. Also streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. It's a great sports weekend. You had a good slate of college football yesterday, a double OT game between Oregon and Penn State. You had a down-to-the-wire battle between Alabama and Georgia in Athens. You had a lot to look forward to, but we'll get all of that in just a moment. First, I got to tell you, if you've been in that car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, my friends Mark Anidjar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. They are here to fight for you. I know with Anajar and Levine, they got my back no matter what. They could get yours too, and they don't even charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Why settle for just any attorney? Demand Anajar and Levine today, because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes is that one phone call to take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for the free consultation now. Call 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Well, if you've been watching golf over the past 2 days, there's been a lot of it. And the Ryder Cup 2025 Ryder Cup is going down right now in just an hour and a half, I should say. The third singles rounds is going to be happening right now, but it has not went the United States way. The United States is home. It's at Bethpage Black up in Long Island, New York. And it is 11.5 to 4.5. And it is first to 14.5. And there are 12 points to be gained today. There are going to be 12 singles matches starting at around noon. And the Europeans can win if they just win 3 of them. Not looking good. Cade can give you a whole update of what happened at the Ryder Cup from over the weekend. Cade?
Yeah, for sure. This leaderboard update is brought to you by the Breakers Palm Beach, Kaiser University, and the PGA Golf Club. Well, like you said, Colin, it has not looked great for the Americans. Captain, number 1 player in the world, Scotty Scheffler. Captain Keegan Bradley has put him in all 4 matches so far, and he's lost all of them. First player in Ryder Cup history to play all of the first 4 matches and to lose all of them. He was the first since, I believe, 2003 Tiger Woods to lose the first 2 as the number 1 player in the world. Has not been looking good for the Americans. All of the big Europeans have stepped up. Tommy Fleetwood is 4-0. John Rahm is 3-1. Justin Rose has been playing ridiculously well as well. He had a heated matchup yesterday afternoon, I should say, but the score is 11.5 to 4.5. 14.5 wins it for the Europeans. There are 12 singles today. They will start at 2:02 p.m. at Bethpage Black. Justin Rose and Cameron Young, probably I would say outside of Tommy Fleetwood, the 2 hottest players in the tournament so far. Cameron Young has been really the only bright spot for the Americans so far. Justin Rose and Cameron Young tee us off at 12:02, followed by Tommy Fleetwood and Justin Thomas, Matt Fitzpatrick and Bryson DeChambeau. A good one. Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler go head to head.
If Scotty can show up, but continue.
It's at least going to be get eyeballs. It's at least going to be fun. And then does it really matter who's after that? Because the Europeans might have it after just those 4. They only need 3 winners to seal this thing up. But it should be a fun one. Tee times go from 12 to 2. That final 2:03 match, Victor Hovland versus Harris English, might not even get started.
Yeah, they don't even televise it. The camera's going to be packing up.
I honestly don't know what you do. Like, if you're any of these middle players, what happens when the game is just over?
You got to play it. You just got to play it.
You just got to play it?
Yep, they play it through. They play it through because they want to finish the point totals.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like, when you finish a round early and they win and they just kind of end it.
Yeah,
They actually have to complete through the round. So you're just playing meaningless golf.
All right. Well, pride in country or continent, I guess. 11.5 to 4.5. Europeans over U.S. It would be the first time in 6 Ryder Cups that an away team has won the Ryder Cup.
Did you expect this to be this lopsided?
Maybe not this lopsided, but I expected the Europeans to win big. I'm not super surprised. Now, I'm surprised on how it's happening.
I agree with that.
Dude, U.S. can't putt, and that's it. That is the sole reason that America is losing right now. Europeans are making the big putts. Americans aren't. Has nothing to do with iron play, driving play, which is usually the hard part with Bethpage Black. The fairways are so narrow. But one thing that they've changed is the rough is cut low.
Mm-hmm.
So really, if you're in the rough, it's honestly not that huge of a difference. It's simply come down to the putting. You've seen Bryson DeChambeau miss some huge putts, missed a 4-footer yesterday at the end of his match.
Just about everybody on the United States side has missed huge
putts.
putts.
Scotty Scheffler hasn't been able to use the flat stick all week.
Terrible.
Cameron Young has really been the only guy who's been able to seem to make a putt.
And Cam Young has even had crucial misses too.
Yes, he has. And every big putt that America has made, the Europeans have been on the same green to silence the crowd. It's been unbelievable. I expected a blowout. This early, though, didn't see this coming. This is insane from the American.
Yeah.
Or from both sides.
I named Cameron Young Captain America because he's the only one that has showed up for us.
Yeah.
And, I was pro Cam Young. Cam Young shouldn't have let. First of all, he should have played immediately, and he didn't because the guy set the record at Bethpage Black as a 20-year-old, and they didn't roll him out in the first round on Friday. Nonetheless, they rolled him out Saturday afternoon, and we were already looking. It was looking grim. It was a 4-point lead. You're sitting there like, oh boy, we're in a lot of trouble. But Cam Young and Justin Thomas went out there against McIlroy. Cam Young had 3 birdie putt opportunities to win each of the first 3 holes, and he missed all 3. Right when that happened and Captain America sort of showed that, I'm like, we're done. We're done. And then the Europeans won the next 2 holes, and there was literally no looking back from there. Yesterday, the Saturday afternoon foursomes, and I've watched the whole weekend. The Saturday afternoon foursomes was the first time, though, that I watched the entirety of the U.S. group go. Number one, I thought that Keegan Bradley didn't screw up completely the foursome matchups. And it was the first time, and the Europeans have played better, but it was the first time where I thought the United States is actually playing not bad here. They're actually playing pretty competitively.
Yeah.
Just Europeans are that much better.
Yes.
They're that much better.
I agree.
You can make that argument about the other rounds, but the United States left so much on the course in the first 3 rounds. They didn't do that in Saturday afternoon. They played gutty. Yeah,
there was multiple that went to the 18th.
2 that went to the 18th, and we stole one, and we beat Rahm. And people have talked about this. I completely agree. Rahm is a top 3 player in the world, bar none. And he's 73rd in the world points rankings. And it's because of the stupid point system.
Yeah,
it's because he's LIV.
He's with LIV. The points don't really matter
the
that
point,
way.
They don't get the points.
Yes.
That's where the point system should not be any sort of indicator of where these players are ranked. Because if I have to hear one more time that Russell Henley is 3rd in the world on the broadcast, and then Russell Henley, goes wide right, can't even get the driver, even remotely close to a good second shot, an alternate with Scheffler in the first round yesterday. If I have to hear one more time that guy is 3rd in the world, I'm going to lose it. And then they go to Rahm, who's 73rd, who is dominating the course.
As much as the broadcast has struggled with audio and visuals and commercials.
Terrible watching experience all week. It got better yesterday.
But I will say the announcing has been phenomenal because I don't have the list in front of me. There's a European on the announcing broadcast, and it's always the broadcasters are fighting amongst themselves, saying like, we're doing this right, we're doing this wrong. And I think it's been hilarious.
Yeah, they open up the broadcast. I don't have the names either. I should have that. But the European on the side, they said immediately, like, all right, you two can be impartial because we got an American and a European here. Or you two can choose a side. I'll be impartial.
Yes.
And that's added a good dynamic to it.
It's been phenomenal. That part has been funny to me.
Yeah. But the actual broadcast itself has not been great. It really hasn't. And this hasn't went the United States' way. Scotty Scheffler is going to have to do some soul searching because if they said it on Sky Sports, which does the European coverage of the same event, because they're bringing up the comparisons. Tiger Woods was never great in the Ryder Cup either. Now that was because he didn't have the right partner. It never really worked out in that sense. People were intimidated to play with Tiger. It's different with Scotty. Scotty's welcoming. He's great, but Scotty himself is not playing well, pretty evidently. And they said in the Sky Sports to bring it back, they were like, some hunters prefer to hunt alone. The best hunters sometimes prefer to hunt alone. That's along the lines of what they were saying. And maybe that's the case with Scotty. Maybe Scotty's all about Scotty, and he doesn't necessarily understand the moment. Yesterday, in the afternoon early, maybe even in the morning too, you got the sense that the moment was too big for Scheffler. You got the feel that he was crumbling in the pressure. Approach shots, especially on 15 yesterday where he has a shank. Oh, my God. With Henley, too. And Henley's not doing him any favors. And then he closes it out. They with two shots, 2 holes to go, they get killed. And it was the first time I've really seen Scheffler. And it's funny because Scheffler, 2 months ago, was like, golf is like the day job. I don't get the rush from winning as I do previously. It doesn't grind my gears as much as it probably could and should. And everybody's wondering, does this guy even love golf? He's won too much. He's kind of numb to the moment. That doesn't have to fire anymore because he doesn't have a competitor or an equal in PGA. And then you turn around and then here's your moment, Scotty. Pride of country in the United States. President's at the first tee box. And we stink.
I will say we are missing some true Ryder Cup players.
Yeah.
Don't you miss like a Patrick Reed right now?
Right. A Reed. I mean, like
Phil Mickelson.
DJ. Oh, my God.
We could use some true. Now, we're mentioning a whole bunch of live guys, and that's because of the whole world ranking point system. All those live guys can't get up there.
They're also older. Yes.
True. But like those guys give the passion. Those guys give you, especially Patrick Reed. My favorite Ryder Cup moment is the singles 2017, I think it was. What's the one in Minnesota? And it was Rory v. Patrick, and they kept making all those big putts, and they kept jeering at each other. That is the greatest Ryder Cup moment for me, and I want that back because right now, nobody outside of Bryson DeChambeau is willing to step up.
He's the only one who actually like wants to be there.
At least it seems like that. Yeah.
Cam Young is playing great. Cam Young's sort of quiet. I get it. Bryson is the only one who is trying to invoke. He should have been the captain. I mean, they should never have a current player be captain again. But if there is an actual true captain, Keegan's all right. He's there. He's in the moment. But Bryson's the one who's actually making the effort to invigorate people.
I think JT is doing it to a sense.
He's done better at it because he had a bad Friday and he's gotten better since.
But he's just not playing well. That's the thing. I think JT has that fire. I think JT wants to win.
It's hard to do that when you're losing, though.
He's just not playing. Yeah.
And DeChambeau's actually played pretty well.
Yeah.
DeChambeau's had tough matchups, but, he's played well. He played well with Young. I mean, he's played good. And clearly he wants, I know there was the whole, you want to call it a scuffle, a back and forth between Bryson DeChambeau, Tommy Fleetwood, and Justin Rose on the 15th green in the second afternoon, the 4-ball. If you didn't see it, what essentially happened is Justin Rose was lining up his putt. Bryson DeChambeau, who hadn't putt yet, his caddy had the flag and almost walks into the line of Justin Rose between Justin Rose and the ball. When he was, Justin Rose has about a 7-minute routine, but when he's trying to figure out his putts, and Justin Rose pretty openly said, "What are you doing? Get out of the way." And, Rose has an attitude. He's a British guy. He has an attitude. And he goes, "Get out of the way." And, I mean, was it the nicest way in the world? Probably not. But he was right to say, "What are you doing walking into the line that I'm trying to prepare?" And it turned into a little thing. Rose knocks the putt in. They finish up the hole on the European side. Then DeChambeau hits a big putt to keep the match alive. Because if he missed the putt, they would have lost. They were already up 2. And it would have been up 3. It would have been over. But after DeChambeau hits the putt to keep it alive, crowd's going. And DeChambeau immediately stares down the duo of Justin Rose and Tommy Fleetwood. And then when they're walking up the hill to the 16th tee box, I give the camera credit. Thank God the NBC showed this. NBC camera crew was just following them along. And you could see Bryson really jawing with Tommy Fleetwood especially and Justin Rose, and even the caddies were involved. Everybody there was sort of had a problem with either how Justin Rose spoke to the caddy or how the caddy handled it back and forth, how the caddy handled it after the fact, talking about, you want to be nice to him. And then DeChambeau stared them down. They didn't take liking to that. And then it turned into a whole thing. And they eventually made up. They're professionals and adults at the end of the day. It took them about a hole. But those cameras were on it. And they asked him about it post-match. The one thing I'll say, should DeChambeau have he lost his cool? Should he have had like a little bit of a meltdown there? No. But there was a little bit of passion there that I could respect because DeChambeau wants to be there. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, the United States, the United States is getting, it's pummeled. This is the beatdown at Bethpage. And then in comes Scotty Scheffler, who's Bryson DeChambeau's partner on 15. And while Bryson DeChambeau is basically going 1-on-5 with the European caddies in the duo, you got Kevin Kisner and Scotty Scheffler rolling up the rear, arm in arm, just not a sense of passion to be had. I understand, Cade. Bryson was wrong. A little passion wouldn't have hurt. I could almost respect that.
No, I'm with you because Bryson's wrong. Bryson's caddy is wrong. There was probably some jeering from Tommy Fleetwood that also wasn't necessary. But Scotty is like, at that point, when you see a scuffle on a
Scotty, wake up!
When you see a scuffle on a football field, whoever's wrong or right doesn't matter. Teammates try to break it up
and mediate,
whatever that is. Scotty's caddy had to be the one to help break things up and get in somebody's face. Scotty himself is just like, let him go.
Oh my God. I'm sitting there, Scotty. Let's go. Show some backbone here, brother. We need you.
The round, they were dormied at 3 up with 3 down with 3 to go. Man he was ready for whatever meal they were going to have in New York.
That's right. It's a long week, but I mean, DeChambeau, there's a reason that they put you and DeChambeau together, Scheffler and DeChambeau. That's supposed to be the heavyweight. And there was nobody that could have beaten Rose and Fleetwood yesterday.
Rose was playing out of his mind yesterday.
Rose torched the course, torched it. Like 6 birdies in his first 8 holes. But when you have DeChambeau, who is scratching and clawing for just a little bit of momentum, you got to get in on that. You got to get on the boat. And I know it's not his personality. We all know that. Scotty's an even-keeled guy. But for a pride of country moment, you're getting embarrassed on your home field. At a certain point, I thought a little less of how Scotty Scheffler is because of how he's handled himself this tournament. You could play bad, but you could play bad and also look dejected while you do it. He doesn't strike me as a team player.
There's a difference between like pouting on the course and being frustrated with yourself that your team is playing bad in your team. That's what I hate to bring this back to football like this, but like I want that out of CJ Stroud and the Texans.
Right.
I want some passion. I want you guys are playing bad. Let's show that you want to play better.
You felt defeat.
Yes.
And that's what you felt from the United States.
Yep.
It looks like defeat, but then you look at Justin Thomas and Cam Young, and you look at even JJ Spawn. Those guys at least are just a little bit of juice. DeChambeau, a little bit of juice. DeChambeau gets frustrated, loses his cool, but a little bit of energy. But when you're going out there and you defeat, you saw that with Patrick Cantlay on 18. Just defeat. It's contagious. And I know the crowd had a lot of bad moments yesterday, Cade. We'll get into this.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But
the crowd had bad moments yesterday. But I would even argue the 3 previous rounds, including morning, it felt like a European home Ryder Cup because there was nothing to cheer for.
Yeah, they were all into it.
There was nothing to cheer for. And all you could hear was, it was, especially that first round on Friday, you could hear a pin drop after that. You get through that first hole when everybody's fired up and into it. And then after that, it's just, there's no United States sense from there. The daunted New York crowd only showed up in an ugly way yesterday, but it turned into a whole thing. We'll get into that as we move forward. We'll do a little headline hierarchy on the flip side of things. Good college football slate yesterday. College football gets me reminded of all the great things that are coming about with bowl season, which is up ahead. The 2025 Boca Raton Bowl, it's going to be in South Florida. It's kicking off its 12th year this year. It's Tuesday, December 23rd at 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium down in Boca. The game is going to air on ESPN. It's going to have 2 of the biggest and best teams from the group of 5. They're going to battle it out for their chance at the title. More information can be found at BocaRatonBowl.com. Follow along on Twitter at Boca Bowl and Facebook.com/Boca Bowl for more updates as we inch closer. 2025 Boca Raton Bowl, Tuesday, December 23rd at Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Headline hierarchy coming up on the other side of things. It's Sunday Huddle, a 2-hour edition on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's Theo Dorsey. My favorite time of year is here, football season. And if you're a fan of football, you need to be playing Prize Picks. It's simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Will Saquon Barkley have more or less than 1 rushing touchdown? Will Joe Burrow throw more or less than 2.5 passing touchdowns? If your picks are right, you can cash in. Prize Picks also puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast and safe and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account all football season. We make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Hey guys, Mike Rizzo here. I know you're moving soon.
Don't stress it. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long-distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage has you covered from start to finish. Trusted by families, businesses, and teams like the Heat and the Hurricanes for over 2 decades. Make your next move simple, safe, and stress-free.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Football season is here, and the ultimate game day headquarters is Twin Peaks. Whether it's college Saturdays or NFL Sundays, catch every kickoff, every touchdown, every Hail Mary right here at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. From scratch-made favorites to ice-cold 29-degree draft beers, Twin Peaks is delivering all the winning plays. Looking for a stronger lineup? No one does game day like Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, come for the game, stay for the experience.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
You lather, rinse, moisturize, and repeat. At this point, you're practically training for the Shower Olympics. But here's the twist. It's not your shampoo's fault. It's your water. Hard water leaves a mineral residue that clogs your pores and dries out your hair. Culligan water softeners remove damaging minerals, revitalizing brittle hair and dry skin. Upgrade your shower system today for only $79 a month. Visit Culligan.com for more information or just say,
"Hey, Culligan man!"
A bicycle kick is a risky move, and risky can be exciting for soccer, but not for your money. PNC Bank believes boring is better. It's the smart and steady way to manage your finances and save the excitement for all you want to do in life. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865 and proud to sponsor Inter-Miami CF radio broadcasts. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
The season is kicking off. Keep your home in the win column with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can score 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the field, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8-star rating, EDS is trusted as the MVP, and it has been since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today. Kick off your game day comfort and don't sweat the small stuff.
631 smash, F-track sneak on one alert to smash on one. Ready?
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
If you miss any of this program, you miss any of the programs that we have throughout the week, including Russo and Rizzo, which you can hear 4 to 6 p.m. on weekdays, and also Theoretically Speaking with Theo Dorsey and Christian Catt, 2 to 4 weekdays, including our high school coverage, which you can hear on Friday nights, ESPN West Palm High School Game Day. You can all listen to all this, not if you're just near the radio or near our social medias. You can also listen to it on the app. The ESPN South Florida app is now up and free to download. Go to the App Store today. ESPN South Florida app has all the best beats for South Florida sports. Hear some games. Hear the actual broadcasts. Listen back to all of the Inter-Miami English and Spanish broadcasts. You can do it all on the app. It's your place to be. If you're looking for your South Florida fix on the sports side of things, ESPN South Florida app, go download it today. It's Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Get Colin Russo and Cade Chumsden with you. We're at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. All right, so what we do weekly is Cade Chumsden comes up with 5 different headlines from just NFL this week, or are we bouncing around different ones?
We are 4 NFL, 1 college football.
There it is. So 5 football, 1 collegiate, 4 professional. We usually change it up week by week. Cade comes up with 5 headlines, 5 storylines to follow, either that have happened or will happen. And it is my job. He gives them to me blindly. And it is my job to rank them 1 through 5. Biggest story, least biggest story. 1 through 5. 1 is the best. 5 is the worst. Let's get to it. Let's do the headline hierarchy.
5 mystery storylines from the National Football League.
I thought this would be purposeful on Cade's part.
1 Colin Russo hoping to not bury the lead.
This is not a big-time headline.
It's time for the headline hierarchy on Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
That's right, Colin. It's the headline hierarchy on Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet. You just mentioned the South Florida app and all the high school coverage. One of the best high school football game days or Fridays in general last week. Go check out all the highlights on the ESPN Top 63 YouTube channel. Heck of a lot of games. Those were a lot of fun. But for this headline hierarchy, we're first going to start with a logistical issue in the NFL scheduling, potentially. Adam Schefter posted yesterday that the Seattle Mariners and the Seattle Seahawks might have a little bit of a scheduling conflict, with the Mariners now in the MLB playoffs and the Seattle Seahawks hosting a few home games coming up. The Seahawks' next two home games are October 5th and October 20th. Both of those games where the Mariners could be hosting playoff games. This is from Schefter's ESPN article. Quote, the infrastructure of the area surrounding Mariners T-Mobile Park and the Seahawks Lumen Field, which are practically next door to each other, a mere 1/10 of a mile apart, is not designed to support two games played at the same time and would create logistical issues that include a chaotic traffic situation along with overcrowding. MLB, end quote, MLB officials are expected to make a decision on Friday about scheduling conflicts, and then once they make a decision, it will be the NFL on whether they change the Seahawks schedule. Colin, what do you make of this craziness?
Now, one thing is that I'll say, you're talking about the game on the 5th and the game on the 20th.
Yes.
The game on the 20th is a night game. All right, that's a Monday night game doubleheader.
Yes.
Where are you going to change it to? You're going to change the date? I mean, that is not happening. So 10 p.m. What are you going to have it be? 7 p.m. kickoff on a Monday? Seattle's 3 hours behind. Was that going to be a 4 p.m. game?
What? So you're saying the Monday night game,
right,
is 7 o'clock?
It's 10 p.m. our time, 7 p.m. their time. So you can't move it earlier because what are you going to do? 4 p.m. Monday night football game, in Seattle local time. How are people going to get to that? That's the one problem. But I listen. This is trick. That the Monday night game is a lot more logistical. Has a bigger logistical problem. I would also argue that the game against the Buccaneers, which is coming up next week, if the Mariners do have a game at T-Mobile, I'd have to go through it. And, the seating's not completely locked in yet. But that's a 4:05 game. What are you going to do? Unless you make it a night game and the Mariners or an afternoon game, I think the MLB would have to decide that. The MLB can make that a day game, by the way. So you're not going to push that into Sunday Night Football. That's not happening. The NFL is not getting pushed over for a divisional series in Major League Baseball. They're not doing that. Now, logistically, if it makes Seattle, a nightmare, Armageddon, I think the NFL is going to deal with that. They're not moving their times unless they move it from a 4 p.m. to a 1 p.m. And you can't move a West Coast game to 1 p.m. Eastern time because it's going to be at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
And you can't do that. You can't do that, especially if a team's traveling for that.
It's the Buccaneers.
Traveling across the country.
It's essentially a 6 a.m. for them.
You can't do that. Can't do that. I don't know what they're going to do here. Because what are you going to do? Then all of a sudden, you're going to push Seattle Buccaneers from 4:05 to 7 p.m. to avoid a day game? How do you think NBC would feel about that when they pay all that money to get Sunday Night Football exclusivity and there's another game on CBS at the same time? That's not going to happen. I don't know what their dodge is here. I really don't. Because they're a West Coast team. It's different when you're an East Coast team. When you're an East Coast team, you can move from 4 to 1 and it makes sense. Even Central, you could do that and get away with it. Pacific time is really tricky. I don't know what they're going to do there. But that's fascinating. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. The fact that I wanted to put this low, but I just did all that intrigue, and I love scheduling stuff.
Yeah.
My personal interest, this is the 3.
Okay. Not bad there. Let's go to a little bit of an injury update. We just talked about it. One of the games of the week, the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, just reported this morning. 3 guys on the Bucs who were questionable are all starting to go. Baker Mayfield is in. Chris Godwin, wide receiver, is in. And finally, left tackle Tristan Wirfs.
Wirfs is back. Okay.
Is back in today. With these 3 guys in, does that change your mind at all on the outcome of this highly contested Eagles-Bucs game?
Well, they lost Mike Evans. Mike Evans is not going to be playing, I believe, right? So
Ooh,
we'll
I
have
need
to
on
check
one.
that because he's got the hamstring injury. I assume hamstring injury is probably not playing. They got Godwin to sort of replace him. Godwin was playing great last year before he went down. He's been down for the better part of a year. So all eyes are there. It's a big to have them come back. This is a really tricky one. I don't know if I want to put this at 2. Because I'm going to put anything Ravens-Chiefs at 1. Yeah, this is the second biggest game of the day. I think I'm going to put this at 2.
Not bad.
Buccaneers getting all these guys back. It's big for the team. It solidifies that offensive line a little better. And Godwin, I think, is one of the more underrated at this point of his career, one of the more underrated big game receivers in the league. So I think you're going to see that today. And I'm starting Godwin in fantasy, so I need him to play well.
Mike Evans is out today. He's probably going to be out for maybe 3 or 4 weeks.
Right, it's a hamstring injury, which the yearly Mike Evans hamstring injury happens every single year. So, and this is clockwork for him, and he's going to come back and he's going to 1,002 yards and continue the streak. Nonetheless, what do you have next?
One of the best moments of last year, by the way, when they ran that play specifically for him to get 1,000 yards.
No problem with that. No
highlight
problem
of
with
the
that.
season.
No
All
problem
right,
with that.
2 and 3 are already gone. Let's go to a rookie quarterback. Jackson Dart makes his first NFL start today at home against the undefeated Los Angeles Chargers. What are your thoughts? What are your expectations for the young Jackson Dart Ole Miss rookie?
All right, I already screwed up. I'm only 2 selections in. I already screwed up. I should have put Buccaneers at 4. I should have put the Buccaneers getting Godwin Wirfs back at 4, and I should have put Dart at 2, and I should have put Ravens Chiefs at 1. All right. This is going to be at 4. This is going to be at 4, reluctantly. I already screwed up. I already know this. I'm admitting it. This is going to be an intriguing game. Now, let's formally get this out of the way. We'll ask Kate about this eventually, too. I am formally team, this is too early to put Dart in the game. I don't know enough about how Dart's development is going. I have a hard time seeing Dart be QB2 and then 3 weeks in, he's ready to go. I have a hard time seeing that. I mean, it works sometimes. It took Lamar half a year. Who knows? This is a reactionary move by Brian Dable to put him in. Any sort of reactionary move like that, getting Russell Wilson out because Russell Wilson stinks, not because Dart is ready, tells you that Dart's going up against the top 5 defense in the NFL, top 10 at least. And then after this, they got the Saints, and then they get the Eagles twice in 3 weeks. That is not, it's not sunshine and rainbows for that giant schedule. Part of me feels like everything is about, reminiscent of how they started Justin Fields. They had Andy Dalton come in there. I know Dalton got hurt, but after Dalton got hurt, they were 3-3. They thrust Fields into the mix with a bad offensive line and a tough schedule, and he got chewed up. And you could make the argument that Fields, with his time in Chicago, he never really responded after that. He never recovered after getting shell-shocked like that early in his career. Missing coaches in and out. That's why I get nervous. I'm thinking about the quarterback here. You're thinking short-term versus long-term solution. He's a long-term solution, and you're trying to use him for a short-term problem. That's where I get nervous about how the Giants have handled this. This is 4 reluctantly. Go ahead.
I agree with you. We'll talk more about it later in the second hour of Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet. It's the headline hierarchy. All right, 2, 3, and 4 are all gone. 2 left, 1 or 5 is what you got, Colin.
Right.
Micah Parsons' big return to Big D is tonight on Sunday Night Football. Colin already knows where he's going with it. It's the long-awaited return. It's the Cowboys and the Packers, a classic NFC rivalry, and it's on the brightest of lights, Sunday Night Football. Colin, you're not about it.
This is so played up. Am I wrong here? Listen, when they made the trade, a month ago? They made the trade to get Micah Parsons over to Green Bay. Awesome story. Great for the NFL. Packers needed that. Huge move, huge story when it first happened. I don't necessarily think this is some Brady going back to Foxborough moment. I don't. I really don't. He's a linebacker edge rusher. He is a great player. He's an important player. He didn't win a playoff game with Dallas. He had not been there for 15 years. He was bad in the postseason. He was a great player that didn't want to, that the Cowboys did not want to budge on paying, so they traded him. This does not need to be. You know how many NBC promos I've seen throughout the Ryder Cup this weekend of the return of Micah Parsons to AT&T Stadium? Like it's some big deal. It's a good game. Love watching Packers Cowboys. I'll never not watch that. Two of the biggest franchises, if not the two biggest, in the NFL. Two America's teams, the people's champ versus, the corporate champ. Fine. But this is not Micah Parsons. Nobody's eyeing Micah Parsons' return to Cowboys. Is it really that big of a deal? Truly. Come on. This is number 5. I understand there might be some intrigue. What is it? Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons are not going to interact pregame. He was a great player for them. They traded him. They didn't want to pay him. And now the Packers, coming off a loss, need to recover off of a big win. And you can make the argument that Dallas is on a slippery slope downward. There's your story. Dallas at 1-2, off one of the worst losses they've had in probably a year against the Bears last week. Can they recover at home against the Green Bay Packers, who are also coming off their worst loss in probably a year? There's your story. Not Micah Parsons getting his... He didn't do anything to Dak Prescott. Prescott's a good guy. We like Prescott. Handles himself well. This is not a big-time deal. Number 5.
My favorite part about those Sunday Night Football promotions on
You've
the
seen
Ryder
100
Cup,
of them, right?
Oh, I have. The best part, though, is the song they choose, because it's like this country song about a breakup, and he's like, I'm free now from you.
My God,
it's
guys.
hilarious.
Guys. They offered him $40 million. He wanted $46 million. Calling this some big breakup is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It was one multimillionaire arguing with a billionaire about how many millions the millionaire is eventually going to get. This is not some... Oh my God, this is not some big decisive. This is not like the Beatles breaking up. Let's give this a rest. My God. Jeez. Didn't want to pay him. All right. Move on. Number 5. Firmly number. If there was a number 6, this would be number 6. Go ahead.
I love it. Well, I'm here to tell you some good news. I believe you lucked out at number 1. I told you there was a college football headline coming. 3 of the top 5 teams in college football go down in week 4. Week 5. A lot of teams have had their byes already.
Right.
Penn State loses to Oregon in double overtime. Georgia loses to Alabama. Florida State loses. That's the number 10. 4 in the top 10 lose. Number 8, Florida State.
Lost on Friday to Virginia.
Yeah. And then Ole Miss beats LSU. There's the other top 5. What is going on in college football, Colin?
First of all, a couple of conclusions that we're going to draw really quickly here. Number 1, Penn State is exactly what Penn State always is. It's funny. The Mets just had a terrible collapse. They were 21 games over 500 in June, and they probably in danger of missing the postseason. It all determines on if the Cincinnati Reds can beat the Milwaukee Brewers, who don't need the game today. The Mets are a lot like Penn State in the sense that I always look at the Mets and say the Mets are always going to Met. There's going to be a point in time where the Mets get in their own way, and they're always going to Met. And I understand they got to Game 6 last year of the championship series. Fine. But the Mets are always going to Met eventually. They get the big contract. They have all this juice coming into the season. They get Juan Soto in there. They get the spiritual victory over the New York Yankees. They're 21 games over 500. They were the best team in the MLB through 3 months. And then the Mets met. Penn State is somewhat of the same. Penn State is always going to come in, have a great offseason. They click all the right, headlines. You get in, they have a couple tune-up games. They'll beat the teams they need to beat. And then they play the big team. And then they'll play a team where, it actually matters. And James Franklin now, you want some statistics? I marked these down earlier. He is now 1-15 against top 5 opponents. He is now 4-21 against top 10 opponents. He is now 15-30 against top 25 opponents. And he is 4-17 against Michigan and Ohio State in his tenure at Penn State. Penn State will Penn State just like the Mets will always Met. That is number 1. That game, the Oregon, and I know they forced it to double OT and they put some pressure on by scoring first in the first overtime. Oregon outplayed them basically the entire game. Completely. Outgained them. They were better on third down. Penn State had a great last 2 drives, but Oregon outplayed them.
Even more embarrassing when you think about Penn State was coming off a bye at home, whiteout night, prime time.
Whiteout night, prime time, game day.
Literally the most ideal situation for Penn State to make a statement.
And they can't move the ball. And Aller's not that good. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Aller, a quarterback, he's not. He's been there forever. He's not that good either. Penn State, big loss there. As for Georgia, there's your boogeyman. Everybody's afraid to play Georgia. Georgia wins the spiritual battle 5 minutes before the game starts because everybody's afraid to play them. Alabama is the one team that is immune to this. Saban or no Saban, Alabama's had Georgia's number for the better part of, 10 years, ever since Kirby got there. There's something about that team, and Alabama outplayed them thoroughly. Georgia had opportunities, and the defense got stops. I give Ty Simpson, the quarterback, a ton of credit. They recovered after that loss to Florida State, and Kalen DeBoer has gotten some of the heat off of his back after a bad start against Florida State. Speaking of said, Florida State on Virginia, Mike Rizzo and I got into a big argument on Friday because he said a number of things. One thing he did say was he thinks Florida State is going to dominate Virginia. Fine. All right. I'm like, all right, why do you think that? And he goes, well, Virginia stinks. I'm like, all right, they're 3-1. I haven't seen, and admittedly, I had never watched Virginia to that point. I didn't see the NC State game. I haven't watched much of it. I know they got the North Texas kid who's about 29 years old playing quarterback. But, the way I looked at it is that's a look-ahead game. Florida State's got Miami next week at home. That's a Friday night game, ACC in conference in Charlottesville, Virginia. That is a tricky environment because you're their Super Bowl and this is your everyday game. That's where they caught you. And that Florida State defense, can we take a timeout on how great they are? 43 points. And I know overtime balloons the score, but really, it was a fun game, back and forth game. That defense really let them down. That FSU defense. Let's take a pause on them really quick. Because that is FSU is going to FSU. There's your FSU
right
moment.
there, too. It's very interesting. We have several FSU fans in our office, obviously. All of them, or majority of them, before the season even started, they're looking at the schedule, and all of them kept saying to us, nervous about that Virginia game.
The funny part is it's a trap game.
Yep.
And everybody knows it's a trap game. I would think the people in the locker room knew it was the trap game. And the fact it's a trap game should make it the fact that it's no longer a trap game because everybody knows that it is. That was my thing. That's why I actually thought Florida State was going to win. I did think it was be close. I thought it would be. I also told people to take the under 60 and a half. Missed that by about 35 points. Nonetheless, a classic look-ahead game. Friday night, your schedule's all screwed up. You go a day earlier. You have one less day of practice. It's an ACC in conference. Everybody's already thinking about a top 10 college game day matchup against Miami next week at Doak Stadium in Tallahassee. You get caught, you get burned. Now, their season is not dead. It's not dead. They're in the ACC. They're not dead. But you can't lose to Virginia on a Friday night when you're a top 10 team. You can't do that. I don't care if it's in Virginia. I don't care if it's at Charlottesville. I don't care if it's in Atlanta. I don't care where it is. You don't lose that game. Can't lose that game. Bad job there. Good college football slate yesterday, though. And we didn't even mention LSU, who lost to Ole Miss at Ole Miss. LSU, who cannot score against Trinidad Chambliss, who is the backup quarterback for Ole Miss, who came in after Austin Simmons went down, and he was an FCS quarterback last year. And he took LSU down the field and closed down the game. How about that? LSU, another team that cannot score. Another overrated top 10 team.
Think you did all right with the headline hierarchy?
Yeah, not bad. I need to flip the dart and the Tristan Wirfs. Other than that, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, no, I think you're just fine.
So to put it in conclusion, number one was all the college football that happened yesterday. Number two, I put Tristan Wirfs, Chris Godwin, all the guys getting healthy for Tampa Bay against the Philadelphia Eagles today. My middle one was which one exactly?
The Mariners-Seahawks.
The Mariners-Seahawks. I love schedule stuff, so that's firmly in a good position there because they might have overlapping games for stadiums that are right next to each other in downtown Seattle. And then number four was Jackson Dart making his career debut. And then number five was that godforsaken Micah Parsons return game that everybody's lauding like, the Beatles are doing a concert again after splitting up. Give me a break. The dumbest thing I've ever seen. We'll get into the second hour here. Stick around for it. It's Sunday Huddle, a 2-hour edition. It is halftime of the Pittsburgh Steelers Minnesota Vikings game. We'll get into what happened in the first half there. We'll get into a little bit of what more to expect today. Some more Ryder Cup updates. That's all to come. It's Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Fall is here, and the flavors of the season are waiting for you at DQ Grill and Chill. Treat yourself to the new Maple Cookie Milkshake. DQ's world-famous soft serve blended with maple cookie crumble and real milk. It's the sweet taste of fall in a cup, but only for a limited time. And don't forget the blizzards of the month, pumpkin pie and caramel toffee cookie. Stop by DQ Grill and Chill today with 2 convenient locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake. Fall tastes better at DQ.
Not all moves reflect your lifestyle. At Safebound Luxury, we provide white glove services tailored for high-end homes, fine art, and designer furnishings. Our expert team ensures every piece is packed, transported, and placed with precision and care. If you're relocating a residence that deserves more than a basic move, schedule your private consultation today at safeboundluxury.com to experience the difference. This isn't just a move. This is the art of moving.
It's heating up fast in Palm Beach County. Hey, it's Colin, and if your AC isn't ready for the Florida heat, now is the time to call John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Since 1960, John C. Cassidy has kept homes cool and comfortable. Don't wait for a breakdown. Upgrade your system today with great financing available. Be sure to ask about the Cassidy Care Program for year-round peace of mind. Cassidy is proud to support our local community, including the YMCA and the Palm Beach Gardens Youth Athletic Association. Stay cool. Stay prepared with Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Visit CassidyAC.com.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Trans World Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Tina, I've been looking everywhere for you.
Hey, Colin, what's up?
How's the gym?
It's been great. I'm seeing results. My sports certified Vitacost products have made a world of difference.
Oh, same. Isn't it great? Vitacost is basically the reason I've been able to keep up with Ironman training. Everything you need is in one place for my BCAAs, protein, and electrolytes. Best part, it's all clean and free of banned substances.
Go re-up on your supplements today. Visit Vitacost.com and use code ESPN20 for 20% off. Level up your game with Vitacost.
Touchdown! Racetrack is proud to support our local high school football teams. Whether it's Friday night lights or tailgate parties, Racetrack has whatever gets you going to fuel all the gridiron excitement this fall. Grab your favorite snacks, crispy chips, delicious Nathan's hot dogs, sweet treats, or our house-made pizza slices. Don't forget to quench your thirst with a variety of ice-cold drinks. Racetrack, your one-stop shop to fuel your football Fridays.
Elevate your drive with the new 2026 Range Rover Velar P250S, where sleek design meets powerful performance. Lease it today for just $749 a month for 36 months, with $6,995 due at signing. This is your chance to command the road in signature Range Rover style. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and make sophistication yours. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063. Huddle up.
66 Hitch X Vegas Flare. I'm one ready.
It's time to break down the boldest plays.
Let's go, baby. Boom.
Hardest hits. And the craziest stories from around the NFL.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Second hour of Sunday Huddle, a 2-hour edition today, leading up into week 4 of the NFL season. It's Sunday, September 28th, last Sunday Huddle of September as October kicks things off this week. It's Colin Russo and Kate Chumsland with you. We're at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter /X at ESPN West Palm. If you miss any of this program, you miss any of it, go down the ESPN South Florida app or go to Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Sunday Huddle, you can catch it all there. We're presented by Hard Rock Bet. Go download the app today and get started because Hard Rock Bet, it's perfect. It's got an interface that is easy for both sides. It caters to the new player and the experienced player. The new player doesn't necessarily know how to navigate from throughout a new sports book. Well, they got you covered because it's easy interface. But on the other side of things, if you're an experienced sports player and you want a lot out of your sports book, they have you covered as well because you could get really into the diamonds, to the grit, into the dirt of it all and put together intricate parlays in different leagues and all these different teams. Over, under, futures, live bet, they have it all in one spot. Bet $5, your first $5. If you win that first $5 bet, you get $150 in bonus bets immediately. Do that on the Hard Rock Bet now. With Week 4 coming up, Ryder Cup today, last day of the MLB regular season. You got so much to look forward to and so much action starting here. The best time of the year in sports is right now. You're going to be watching this stuff anyway. You might as well sprinkle a little action on it with Hard Rock Bet, offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus, physically present in Florida. The wager, terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. All right, another thing. The Giants are taking on the Los Angeles Chargers today at MetLife Stadium. The Giants had their home opener last week on Sunday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs, where they lost in pretty dramatic fashion. It was 22-9. Russell Wilson gets benched on Tuesday in favor of Jackson Dart, their first-round rookie who they got 20-something overall, and who was started as the QB2. Everybody's been clamoring for him. We haven't seen him yet. We still played well in the preseason. Giants have a lot of issues, and they probably have the hottest seat in the league in terms of the coaching staff. Do you think this was the right move to put him in at this spot, Kate?
No, I do not. I think their schedule is a gauntlet, and I think he's going to get beat up, especially against a really good Los Angeles Chargers team. Did everyone forget that Jameis Winston is on this team? Because that, to me, is the no-brainer quarterback to start today.
I would agree.
He's a fiery veteran, hilarious, crowd loves him.
Entertaining. He's entertaining.
Entertaining, and he always plays one big game a year. And if you need something to get your fans back in action when you're winless against an undefeated team, something to just help, and especially if you're Daboll, who needs the momentum to potentially keep his job, why not go with the guy who you brought in there before Dart, by the way, at the same time as Wilson? We all thought this was going to be two quarterbacks running the show with Dart on the bench, soaking in every moment. This seems completely rushed. Jameis Winston has been sitting there on the sideline the whole time. I think he's ready for some action. I think all the players love him.
There's no long-term consequences to starting him.
Absolutely not. There is with Dart, because I think he's going to get beat up today by that good Chargers defense. This could be a blowout warning for the Chargers at home. Not loving what I'm seeing from New York starting him this early, and I would desperately love to see good old famous Jameis out on the field today.
Now, I agree with you in the sense the thing is, Brian Daboll made this decision either off of internal pressure from the ownership, which is could be true, but definitely off of media and fan pressure who have been clamoring for the quarterback since the start.
I mean, they were shouting his name in the stands last week.
He was clamoring nonstop. If you really wanted to stuff, and if it was just the fans and the media that stirred this decision, and you're worried about that, start Jameis. People like Jameis. Like Kate said, people like him. He entertains people. You know, it buys you 3 weeks.
Right? At least.
You could go to him for 3-4 weeks. He'll start stinking, and then maybe 8 weeks into the year, maybe you steal a win or two, and he's capable of doing it. Then you could go to Dart. I really think, maybe I'm wrong, because I'm actually rooting for Dart. I think Dart's can be a pretty good player. But there's something about getting guys and starting them early when they're ready versus when they're not. If we're thinking of the Giants and watch the team, thinking that, all right, Russell Wilson, you know, the offensive line has not played great. The penalties of the offensive line has been a major nuisance to the team. They haven't been healthy. They got a lot of issues with receivers staying consistent. They can't run the ball that well, and they got a bad coaching staff. They get a good defense. If your conclusion after watching Russell Wilson, who is, in my opinion, probably a Hall of Famer at some point, and your conclusion after watching that, and he's not playing like a Hall of Fame level, fine. He's not playing great, fine. But if your conclusion after watching that is, all right, well, the seasoned 13, 14-year vet can't figure it out. Let's throw in the rookie and see if he's any better. Really? With that schedule, here's what the Giants have. Yeah. They have the Chargers today. Then they go at the Saints. All right, there's your tune-up game. Play them next week. The problem is, right after, you get the Eagles twice in 2 weeks, including a Thursday night game. And then you have at the Broncos at Mile High, which is another impossible defensive front to play against. The way it just reminds me of the Bears when Matt Nagy played his final card to get Justin Fields in the mix. He went 2-8. He got battered. His confidence was shot. He didn't like throwing the ball. And Matt Nagy was out. They bring in Eberflus. Eberflus comes in. Justin Fields, they have some success. There's questions about it. Eberflus thinks this is not my guy. I don't really want him. They go to Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams comes in, and all of a sudden Caleb Williams is learning on a slow learning curve, and then Matt Eberflus gets fired because he's been there for a couple of years, and then now you got a new guy, Ben Johnson, in there, and then you don't. There's just a disconnect everywhere. If this is Dable's guy, fine. But if you're telling me that week 4 is DEFCON 1, if anybody on the Giants expected anything else but 0-3 after playing the Commanders, Cowboys, and Chiefs the first 3 games of the year, if you're a Giant fan, you expected anything different. Now, I'm not saying there's positives to take away. There are not positives to take away. But the positives is that you got a quarterback brewing. And if you think that the only way for the quarterback to be at his best and to develop the best way is to throw him into the fire, you're wrong. It works with some people. It worked with Jaden Daniels. It doesn't work with everybody. And that's where I have nerves about Dart. Dart's a 3-year starter in the SEC. He's been there. He's done that. I get that. But I remember watching him against Florida last year, LSU, some of these games where he just panicked and threw the game away.
Kentucky.
Another good example where he just threw the game away. I have a hard time seeing him be ready for NFL football because I'd make an argument that 90% of rookie quarterbacks are nowhere near ready for NFL football by the time they start playing. And then all of a sudden, some of them rise up to the occasion and elevate, and some of them, their confidence is shot. They have coach turmoil, and out they go. That's where I get nervous about the Giants. And Joe Shane, who's the general manager of the team, and Brian Dable, they were given a vote of confidence, at least for the year, and John Mara, who's the owner of the team. Mara said he needs to see some steps forward, and that's no discussion or else they're out. Basically gave them an ultimatum. I don't know if that includes playoffs. I think it's contextual what he wants to see. But I also look around and say, you're pleasing the fan by making this move. You're not doing the best by the player. That is where I get nervous. Because if you go throw him in there and maybe we get surprised, maybe he comes out and he balls out and the team plays really well and they get a new energy to them. If that's the case, they'll shut me up until further comment. If he comes in and lights it up, offensive rookie of the year, dead wrong, fine. But if these growing pains are so glaring, then you look around and say, well, you're told the vets by starting this guy 3 games in that we're playing the developmental game. That's what Minnesota told those guys with J.J. McCarthy. We're playing the developmental game. We operate to how fast the quarterback is developing and nothing else. That's where you kind of tune me out. And if the best thing is for his development is to play him today, fine. But I have a hard time seeing that objectively. I really do. Because what if he goes out there and he throws 3 interceptions? And he gets sacked 8 times? And I know they got Andrew Thomas back, but if he holds onto the ball too long, and then all of a sudden he throws 3 interceptions, and then he gets nervous, confidence is an issue. That's all stuff that could happen. And then worse comes to worse, what if he plays and then Brian Dable gets fired at the end of the year, or even mid-year, God forbid, mid-year, then another coach comes in, tries to fix Jackson Dart, then that guy doesn't get the job, and then they get 3 coaches in 6 months for the quarterback. That's a recipe for success. That's where I get nervous. But I'm rooting for him. I really am. The Giants, I hate the New York teams. I have a sympathy for the New York sports teams, for the football teams. The Jets, I don't like the Jets, but the Giants, they have been so bad outside of 2 years for so long since that Super Bowl win in 2012. I almost have a sympathy that the sports are better when the New York teams are good. Hateable, when they're solid and not. That's why the Yankees, it's fun to hate the Yankees because the Yankees were always good. I have a sympathy for the New York Giants because they need something. And they haven't had anything in a long time. And I'm hoping this kid works out because you got to give him a fair shot. You don't draft a kid in the first round just to give him, 12 turmoil games. And then when he doesn't play well, we're thinking, oh, well, the quarterback's not the guy. We got to move on. He's not the guy. I'm waiting for these conversations, kid. When Brian Daboll eventually moves on and gets fired, and let's say he does, because I'm assuming he's on a short leash and he's not going to survive unless he plays. The only way he can keep his job is if Dart plays fantastic. And I don't think that's too much pressure to put on the kid. Let's say Daboll gets fired. There's your scapegoat. He just walked out the door. The next time the Giants lose a game, you can't blame the new coach. He just got there. Who can we blame? Oh, we could blame the rookie. Look at Chicago. People are not blaming Ben Johnson nearly as much as they're blaming Caleb Williams. That is where I get nervous. That's where I get nervous. I just see too many parallels to Chicago, and that is no role model. None. That's Kate Chums and Colin Russo. Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet. It is 14-6. Pittsburgh leading over Minnesota in Dublin right now. The first ever NFL game in Dublin 10 minutes ago in the third quarter. Pittsburgh played pretty well. Minnesota's hanging around. Their defense is saving them yet again, and their special teams. We'll get into some more Ryder Cup stuff. What should we expect out of the USA Today? We'll give you a scoreboard update as those singles starts in about 45 minutes, so stay tuned for that. Should be a lot of fun. We'll do that on the other side. We still got to blitz the book. Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball Baez and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Don't fumble your finances. Whether you're running a business or running plays, Jay Zolo and Associates keeps your books tight in your stressed life. With nearly 30 years of experience, Jay Zolo is your go-to coach for QuickBooks, offering expert consulting, one-on-one training, and full-service bookkeeping. Jay Zolo and Associates, simplifying your books so you can win on and off the field. Visit jzolo.com today. That's JZOLLO.com.
The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. Featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi tech. The next chapter of Audi is here. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Tina, I've been looking everywhere for you.
Hey, Colin, what's up?
How's the gym?
It's been great. I'm seeing results. My sports certified Vitacost products have made a world of difference.
Oh, same. Isn't it great? Vitacost is basically the reason I've been able to keep up with Ironman training. Everything you need is in one place for my BCAAs, protein, and electrolytes. Best part, it's all clean and free of banned substances.
Go re-up on your supplements today. Visit Vitacost.com and use code ESPN20 for 20% off. Level up your game with Vitacost.
Red right, 24 double Puma on one. Right.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Well, you got a lot to look forward to. You got a lot to get started on because you got the Ryder Cup today. You got MLB today. You got NFL today. A lot to watch, a lot of fun to be had. Because of that, let's give you a little bit of a background on what to look forward to, what storylines to watch. Let's do a little quick look presented by Jay Zalo and Associates.
Time now for a quick look, presented by the QuickBooks Pro experts at Jay Zolo and Associates. Since 1997, Jay Zolo and Associates has been helping Palm Beach County businesses with their accounting and bookkeeping needs. From expert QuickBooks services to getting your business finances in order, their team has the knowledge and experience to help.
Quick look presented by Jay Zolo and Associates, the leading certified QuickBooks Pro advisor firm. So what do you have today on the NFL side? I'll go a little bit of everywhere. NFL to start, you got the battle of the 3-0s, Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, that one team that has sort of been the boogeyman to the unbeatable dynasty Eagles, and Tampa Bay has beaten them in the postseason before. Baker Mayfield has won on 3 game-winning drives in 3 games. Philadelphia, coming off one of their best wins in recent memory, come from behind against the Rams last week. Can they continue the momentum on the road, 1 p.m. on Fox in Tampa Bay to move to the 425 slate? We mentioned Kansas City 1-2 this year. Going against another 1-2 this year by the name of the Baltimore Ravens. Who would have guessed that? The Ravens going to Arrowhead to take on Kansas City, and a lot on the line. I would say more for Kansas City than Baltimore. Baltimore's got an easier schedule the rest of the way. They have an easier division. And on top of that, 1-3 Kansas City with not the best offense in the world comparatively to what they're used to. Kansas City's got a lot riding on winning this game at home. Can't start the season 0-2 on that front. Green Bay is going to Dallas, coming off a loss last week against the Cleveland Browns, sitting at 2-1. Micah Parsons, for those who care, thinks big coming back game for him, back to AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Dallas, on the other hand, lost in big fashion to the Chicago Bears last week in Soldier Field in Chicago. They look to recover after a bad week last week. MLB last day of the regular season is today. Game 162 from all around, a couple postseason nods. Number one, Toronto Blue Jays need to win at home against the Tampa Bay Rays. Rays are playing spoiler. They're out of the postseason contention, but Toronto still wants home field throughout the postseason. They still want the number 1 overall seed. New York is hot on their trail. New York wins. Toronto loses. The Yankees get the number 1 overall seed. They got Baltimore at Yankee Stadium. As to the win and in situation, the Cincinnati Reds are taking on the Milwaukee Brewers in American Family Field in Milwaukee. The Brewers, who have locked down the number 1 overall seed in the MLB, they have Cincinnati. Cincinnati, who has the tiebreak over the Mets right now, same record at the moment. They win, they're in. They win, the Mets are out. You want to think about the Brewers for a second, who gave up a walk-off to Pete Alonso to blow the game last year in the postseason when that great Game 3 in the wild card series. If they could want to get their lick back to the New York Mets, let Cincinnati win and keep the Mets out of the postseason with that $700 million payroll. They can't win more than 85 games. That is a joke. On the PGA side of things, or the golf side of things, you have 11.5 to 4.5 is your score in the Ryder Cup. We'll give you a full update in just a couple moments. But the USA, backs are against the wall. You're going to need a historic comeback. A historic, I emphasize, comeback in the Ryder Cup for them to have a chance. Europeans there's 12 singles match one-on-one today at Bethpage Black up in Long Island. Europeans just need 3 to retain the cup. 2.5, technically. If they could tie, they retain the cup as well. But to win, they need 3 of the 12 wins one-on-one. That's your quick look presented by Jay Zolo and Associates, the leading certified QuickBooks Pro advisor firm. Colin Russo and Kate Chumsden with you. It's Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 1063 at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Kate, I mentioned it, the Ryder Cup today. Let's get to what that scoreboard update really looks like.
For sure, this leaderboard update is brought to you by the Breakers Palm Beach, Kaiser University, and the PGA Golf Club. Well, the Ryder Cup, we were hoping for a closer singles Sunday, and it's not looking like it. Europe up 11.5 to 4.5 going into singles today. They will start at 2:02 p.m. with Justin Rose and Cameron Young, arguably the 2 hottest men on Bethpage Black Golf Course. Just behind them, Tommy Fleetwood and Justin Thomas. I'm very much looking forward to that one. Justin Thomas, you could feel it a little bit yesterday, getting his rhythm.
Absolutely.
And Tommy Fleetwood is 4-0 right now throughout all of the foursomes play. Later in the day, Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler at 12:35. John Rahm and Xander Schauffele. Xander Schauffele on a historically bad run right now, and John Rahm playing out of his mind. Terrell Hatton, Colin Morikawa at 1:41 p.m. But by the time we get to these 1:45, 2:03 times, this game might be over. All the Europeans need are 3 more points to get to that coveted 14.5. And their away Ryder Cup victory, the rare away Ryder Cup victory, will be theirs. It hasn't happened in the last 5 Ryder Cups. USA, the story has been the putting. They cannot figure out these Bethpage Black greens. Europe has had the big putts every single time they've needed it. And I knew the Europeans would have a strong shot at winning this thing. Did not see a blowout before Sunday morning, Colin.
Do you think Keegan Bradley, the captain of the United States, who, by the way, could have played a current player who was definitely more than qualified to play in this event for the United States? He was elected captain over a year ago and elected not to play in favor of being a captain. Probably the right move, all things considered. They could use Keegan, to be completely honest with you. Do you think he has handled himself right in terms of the decisions he has made throughout the weekend?
Well, I don't know exactly what you would have done differently. One, I think he could have thought about his pairings a little bit more.
A lot more.
Bryson DeChambeau has played with 4 different people to start. Right. I know he's difficult to play with, and nobody really likes him on the American side, but you at least got to find someone, or at least ask, like, hey, Bryson, who do you want to play with? Or, hey, who wants to play with Bryson? He should have figured that out a little bit sooner. But because everyone across the board has been playing so poorly, I don't necessarily think it would have made a difference.
Yeah, and here's another thing I'll say. Colin Morikawa and Harris English was a bad pairing to begin with. They got dominated in the first day. They played McIlroy and Fleetwood. Tough matchup. They get unlucky the next day by getting sent back out there, and then they get McIlroy and Fleetwood once again. So how much can you really blame them? Because what pairing would have beaten McIlroy and Fleetwood? The way I looked at it, though, is Morikawa and English should not have been on that course at any point yesterday. I understand they got rookies in there, and they didn't want to put out Ben Griffin an alternate shot. They didn't want to put out Sam Burns an alternate shot. But I saw, and Russell Henley played better yesterday in the morning than he did in the first day. And he started to fall apart in the back 9. Russell Henley, Morikawa, and Harris English have been, at least in the morning rounds, have been big anchors to the team in terms of, like, they've really sunk the ship in a way. And they just haven't played well. They haven't challenged the other team. They're letting them kind of coast through it, rest. They're done with 4 holes to go, and then they get an hour and a half to rest between the next round. There's no pressure. They haven't inflicted any sort of pressure. They haven't played well at all. So I was not happy with them running it back, essentially, because the Friday went so poorly, the morning, on alternate shot. And what'd he do? Other than bringing Cam Young and having him play with DeChambeau, which turned out to be the right move, they won easy. Scheffler and Henley ran it back. Morikawa and English ran it back. Schauffele and Cantlay, I understand running them back because they won their point on Friday morning. But Scheffler and Henley, I don't care how well they've played in the past. You do not do that again. You mix it up. And Morikawa and English, I don't care if you think that they're, a lamb for slaughter with McIlroy and Fleetwood. You didn't know that setting that up. So that's why those are the things I would have changed. But as I mentioned it earlier, as for Saturday, I can't knock him for Saturday afternoon because Saturday afternoon, JT played well, Spawn played well. Burns and Cantley were right there. Scheffler and DeChambeau, you needed a heavyweight. That was probably your best duo, and they lost. You can't knock him too much for how he handled Saturday. I can't even knock the Americans for the players, too, because the players played really well. It was just the Europeans just that much better.
They have had the vibe all weekend, and Tyrrell Hatton in that Saturday afternoon wasn't even supposed to play.
Right.
Victor Hovland had a neck injury, which, by the way, he played the last 5 holes in the morning with and made one of the biggest putts in the tournament. Man was a dog out there.
Right.
So Victor Hovland goes out, Tyrrell Hatton goes in, and they end up winning the point against Cantley and Burns. They've just had it. The Europeans have just had whatever it is
They've been able to putt. They've been able to putt.
Yep.
It's been a putting contest.
It has been a putting contest. And I wish I want to have like that AWS like stats stuff at our fingertips because I want to know how many feet of putts have been made for the Europeans compared to the Americans.
That's a good point. I was going to, and I don't know how to read the golf stats nearly as much, but I know like there's a putt statistic somewhere on the golf data website.
There's several putt statistics.
So here's a putt statistic.
Okay,
I'll just put it. It's just a number.
I'll let you know what it means.
It says putt plus 4.88. You familiar with this? Comparatively, in the most, I think it's just like above. It's like an ER, like above average.
It is strokes gained putting. That's what that means.
And then, okay, so how about this? The Europeans, out of the, top 9 on the putting statistic, only one American is there, Cam Young.
Jeez.
The rest of the Europeans, Justin Rose is plus 4.88. That means he's gained nearly 5 strokes on the putting greens alone.
They have some sort of formula, but basically what it means
this is like, I'm just trying to, this is like reading war in baseball.
Yeah, exactly. He is gaining 4 strokes per 18 holes just based off how good his putting is.
Rose is number 1, Rahm is number 2, Hovland's number 3, Hatton's number 4, Straka's number 5, Shane Lowry's number 6. Then you get to Cam Young, McIntyre, and McIlroy after that.
Yeah.
There's the story of the tournament.
And you know why McIlroy
I didn't even know how to read that statistic. There's the story of
Here's the thing.
The tournament.
What was it? Friday afternoon or Saturday morning, McIlroy had to putt it twice, and that was it.
Yeah.
Because of alternate shot with Hatton. Or
whoever he was with Fleetwood in the morning. And Fleetwood and him, Fleetwood's hitting putts left and right.
It was Rahm because it was Hatton who was playing so well. Rahm only had to make 2 putts.
Yeah.
All of Saturday mornings or Friday morning.
And Rahm also got lucky because he had all the approach shots. And Rahm in the approach, whether like pitching, it's unbelievable.
He's dialed.
How good he is.
Yes.
It's unbelievable how good Rahm is. It makes me think, whenever Rahm and Scheffler, we need a rivalry between them. We don't have it. I wish we did. Nonetheless, Ryder Cup today. What would you feel good with? You're not winning. You're not winning.
Yeah, no, you're not winning.
What would you feel good with?
You want to put a bet on Hard Rock Bet? It's plus 3,000 for the Americans to win right now.
Wow.
Or tie.
If you win 5 of the 12, are you happy?
Yes. I would be. There are 12 out there. If I win 5, I'm happy.
I think if we lose 9 of them, I'll be upset.
If I got 5 total points, not winning 5. If I get 4 wins and 2 ties or something like that,
that means half the guys played well.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
3 wins, 1 tie. You happy?
No. Honestly, though, I'm at this point cheering for players more than teams. Yesterday and Friday, I was like, all right, America, get into this. Now, because I know it's Europe, I'm a huge Tyrrell Hatton fan. I love that guy.
Okay.
I love where he is at LIV. I love how he plays on the course. He's hilarious when he's mic'd up. I think he's just super fun, and he never gets down unless he's really out of it. But I love Tyrrell Hatton. I love Jon Rahm. I love Bryson DeChambeau. I'm going to be cheering for a lot more players today than I think I am team.
Right. Yeah, USA's done. All right. Good effort. Not really. But that European Ryder Cup team, I don't know how to compare and contrast nearly well enough, but that is probably as good of a well-constructed Ryder Cup team in terms of playing well at the right times with the right pieces in place as you could find.
Luke Donald is a veteran when it comes to Ryder Cup captain.
And there's never been a question as to, is this the right duo? Is this the right twosome? They haven't done that once. And I think every single twosome that has went out there, I've had questions about on the United States side.
True. Palm Beach County resident, Luke Donald.
How about that?
Yeah.
Palm Beach County resident himself. We'll get into Blitz the Book next. Stick around for it. We'll make some picks. We'll go through what happened in our MLB regular season picks. That's all to come. It's Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet and ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Get ready, South Florida. It's the 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl. Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at FAU's Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Two of the best group of 5 teams go head-to-head in the ultimate holiday showdown. Over 150 players have gone from this field to the NFL. Who's next? Visit BocaRatonBowl.com for the latest, including when tickets will go on sale. The 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl, Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
Fall is here, and the flavors of the season are waiting for you at DQ Grill & Chill. Treat yourself to the new Maple Cookie Milkshake. DQ's world-famous soft serve blended with maple cookie crumble and real milk. It's the sweet taste of fall in a cup, but only for a limited time. And don't forget the blizzards of the month, pumpkin pie and caramel toffee cookie. Stop by DQ Grill & Chill today with 2 convenient locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake. Fall tastes better at DQ.
Every great performance starts with a plan. Your game plan for greatness begins at Men's Only Medical. Dr. Al is redefining men's health with concierge care and cutting-edge treatments tailored just for you. From anti-aging and weight management to cardiovascular health, skin, and hair, they've got you covered. Expect personalized care and advanced technology to help you look, feel, and perform your best. Visit mensonlymedical.com. Men's Only Medical, setting a new standard for men's health.
Putting the ball behind the keeper takes lots and lots and lots of tireless work that leads to something brilliant. It's the same with PNC Bank. They take a smart, practical approach with your money so you can score brilliant financial goals. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865 and proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts. Visit pnc.com/brilliantly boring. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2025 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2025 Defender 110 P300S for just $889 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
You lather, rinse, moisturize, and repeat. At this point, you're practically training for the Shower Olympics. But here's the twist. It's not your shampoo's fault. It's your water. Hard water leaves a mineral residue that clogs your pores and dries out your hair. Culligan water softeners remove damaging minerals, revitalizing brittle hair and dry skin. Upgrade your shower system today for only $79 a month. Visit Culligan.com for more information or just say,
Hey, Culligan man!
Let's go. Double right, scat right, double cowboy. Double right, scat right, double cowboy.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Well, we got a lot to cover today. Week 4 of the NFL season. Today, you get the Ryder Cup final round, the singles bout, 12 matches head-to-head, starting at around noon, about 15 minutes, and you got about an hour, 20 minutes till the Week 4 full slate gets kicked off. You got the Steelers up big over the Minnesota Vikings right now in Dublin. 21-6, mostly controlled the game. They are driving again. Carson Wentz has an interception. The Steelers defense is playing great. They have played a safe game for the most part as they enter into the fourth quarter. That's Kate Chumsland, Colin Russo, Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet and ESPN 1063. Let's make some picks. Let's go through our picks with Blitz the Book presented by Hard Rock Bet. What's the book presented by Hard Rock Bet? Go download the app today in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. All right, Kate, so we made our MLB regular season over-under win total picks. Let's go through that before we pick our games today.
Yeah, let's go into a little bit of memory mode. Colin, we made 4 picks apiece. You went 3 for 4, my friend.
Yeah, I went 3 for 4 on my normal picks, too, so I was happy.
Yep, so you nailed A's over 71.5. They did all right. You crushed the Tigers over 83.5. Almost blew it, but not quite.
Almost blew it.
And then you called from a mile away the Mets under 90.5.
Yeah.
What
And,
a line there.
I thought we were dead in June. I thought we were dead 21 games over 500. The Mets are always going to Met. 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and the Mets medic. Go ahead.
And then I'm actually, funny enough, it's not determined what my total is at. I've so far nailed Red Sox over, barely. And then I had 2 picks from the AL West and missed them both. I said the Rangers would go 85.5 over. Mariners would go under. Same line. And it's completely flipped. Mariners out of nowhere. Rangers completely crumbled on themselves. The one that is still up for grabs for me to see if I can hit 500. Angels, I have under 72.5, and they are currently at 72. Wow. I need an Angels loss today.
That's how good these places are at setting lines. It's actually unbelievable.
Angels play the Astros, who now have nothing to play for. So
nothing to play for after they got
grabs.
They got eliminated last night. We'll see if the Astros play with little guts. That game on Friday, the Angels beat them, and that kind of killed the Astros season. But I would say favor the Angels a little bit today. I would.
Sadly, so I might just go 1 for 3. Who knew? But
Not bad.
Oh well.
And Arizona was the one that I had over, and Arizona still won 80 games. They needed to win like 87 games.
Yeah.
But I mean, for a team that sold at the deadline and a team that lost their star pitcher like a month into the season, not that bad. We'll take that. The Mets are always going to Met though. Always count on their under.
Nice.
All right, Kay, let's make some picks today. We got how this works is we make 4 picks. We make 3 game picks against the spread, and we make 1 player prop pick. We have to determine which of our picks will be worth 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, and then our player prop pick is worth 4 points. This is draft style. So the person between Cade and I who won the previous week will select first. Cade, what do you have from last week?
Also, update on the standings. I'm at 15 points total. You were at 8 points total.
Okay.
And
I had a bad week again last week.
I won, so I'm going first, or you going first?
You won, so you go first.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to get, as my 1-pointer, I will take this Baltimore KC game. The line right now on Hard Rock Bet is -2.5 in favor of the Ravens. I said I think the Ravens have a blowout opportunity today. Let me just get that pick for sure. Ravens -2.5 at Kansas City.
1-pointer, Carolina at the New England Patriots +5.5. That's a big line for a team that hasn't done a whole lot. I know New England played well last week against the Steelers. Carolina also played well last week against the Falcons. Leave it to Carolina to not build on any sort of momentum. I need the over. I'm putting my marbles in on one spot in one car. Give me 1-pointer, Carolina.
Not bad at all. I am terrified to go here, but I took them in cover 5. I'll take them here as only my 2-pointer. Give me Jacksonville +3.
I wanted that one.
Did you really? Okay, I was very curious to how
one.
confident you were in this game. They're at San Francisco. Brock Purdy is back today, but still no George Kittle. Jacksonville has been on the cusp of doing something great. Big win over Houston last week. I think they have it in the tank today. Jacksonville +3 on the road.
Yeah, I like that one, unfortunately. I'm going to take the Jets against Miami at Miami. I'm going to take
That's on my list, so well done.
+2.5. I think Miami's actually going to come out a little flat. 11 days after they lost at Buffalo, they played really well that game. That's a lot of time to be off in Miami. You give them a couple days off. The guys are going to lose focus a little bit sitting at 0-3. The Jets are at 0-3 with a little bit of momentum building after last week. +2.5 at Hard Rock. I'll take that one.
The Dolphins jerseys are going to look really cool. I don't know if you've seen those.
Is it the rivalry uniforms? Yeah.
Those are going to look pretty. Okay. I am terrified to take this pick because I have no idea why the line is set like this. But I'll go with it as my 3-pointer. Chicago is plus points right now at Las Vegas. And I'm so confused by it. It is Chicago +1.5 on Hard Rock Bet. I don't know
They're
if
expecting a little bit of like a hangover game, similar to what's happening to Minnesota right now.
Do we think that the line started somewhere different and so much money has gone to Las Vegas?
I don't think that would make that much of a difference, the fact that you're questioning why the line is where it is. Okay. Maybe a point or two, but tops.
Very curious. I think Chicago's got all the momentum, and I think Las Vegas is that bad.
The one thing, you're in Vegas. Vegas always knows. Vegas knows something. They're expecting a little bit of a hangover week.
I know they are, but to me, I think Chicago finally figured something out. I think they smell blood in the water with the Packers losing last week. Don't know why they would do that, but I'm taking Chicago. I'm gonna do it. Don't know why the line is like that. I think Chicago wins big.
I'm between two. My 3-pointer is either going to be Green Bay, big favorite, 6.5, or it's going to be Denver, big favorite over Cincinnati. I think I'm going to take Denver, actually.
Okay. I think that's smart
I think
play.
I'm going to double up on my Monday night picks. Now, I don't love this because professional teams usually bounce back pretty well after a terrible, terrible loss like last week. They usually bounce back pretty well.
But also Denver had a heartbreaker last week as well.
Denver needs the game. There's my fight back.
Yeah.
Denver needs the game. They're 1-2. They have an easier schedule the rest of the way. Especially if the Chiefs win today and they're 2-2, and then let's say the Raiders win and they're last in the division, they need that game. So I would say Denver -7.5 will be my team to follow. I can't say I love the pick. I wanted Jacksonville to be my top number, but I'm going to take Denver, double up on the Monday night games. Denver -7.
It's interesting that you were choosing between Green Bay or Denver as the
I think Green Bay's going to win
spread.
easy too, because Green Bay's coming off a loss. I think Green Bay's coming off a bad
If I'm
loss.
picking a game with a massive spread, I was actually going to take, had you not taken one of my other ones, I was going to take Detroit -9.5 against Cleveland.
That's my survivor
home.
pool pick. I don't want to put all my cards in one basket.
Okay.
But I mean, the thing about Detroit is they're coming off a short week. I agree. I think they're probably going to win easy. Cleveland's not going to surprise somebody for the second week in a row. But rooting for a 10-point win can be a little
Very true.
It could be a little nauseating.
While the line is 10 points, I think there will be a lot of scoring. Let's go there for my player prop. You can customize how many yards some running backs are going to get. Plus 80 yards for Jahmyr Gibbs is getting plus money. Again, these player props have to be plus money. We want to get the most out of Hard Rock Bet as we can. Jahmyr Gibbs plus 80 yards today is plus 210 on Hard Rock Bet. Huge game out of David Montgomery last week against Baltimore. I think the running backs flip responsibilities. Give me a big game out of Jahmyr Gibbs.
First game back, we mentioned it earlier. Chris Godwin's playing today for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. His number, by the way, is 32.5 receiving yards. And his plus to record just 40 yards, plus 130.
Wow.
Chris Godwin to get 40 receiving yards. I think he might get this on the first drive.
Seriously.
I think this is a very favorable line. They need him. They need him immediately. He's their outside target. Eagles secondary has not been that great throughout the season. If they're going to score, it's going to be not via the run game. It's going to be via the pass. Chris Godwin to score, to get 40-plus receiving yards, plus 130 is my
You can also expect them to use that more later in the game, too, when the game gets tight and they're going to have to pass a lot more.
Right.
I love that pick right there. I picked up Sterling Shepard in my fantasy football team this week.
Well, yeah. The thing about it is Baker likes taking favorites, too. Egbuka's an early favorite of his.
Yeah.
He does love Godwin. Godwin had like 500 yards in like the first 5 games last year. So I do lean that Godwin's going to pick up right where he left off. Might take him a week, but there's our picks for Hard Rock Bet. That closes out our Blitz the Book. That closes out a 2-hour program of Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet. If you miss any of the show, go listen on podcasts, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, or the ESPN South Florida app. Sunday Huddle is all there. Appreciate everybody having us aboard. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their Sunday as we close you out on September the 28th, 2025. Enjoy the Ryder Cup. Enjoy game 162. Steelers up 21-6 with 12:55 to go in the fourth quarter. 21-6, and the Steelers are driving. So should be in good shape there. They're in the red zone. That game's likely closed out. Colin Russo, Kate Shumson saying, so long. We got you on the weekend programming and the weekday programming coming up this week. Stay tuned for it. It's been Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
The preceding program was paid for in full by Hard Rock Bet. Advice and opinions expressed during this program were solely those of the guests or hosts of this program and not of ESPN 106.3 or Good Karma Brands.
This is ESPN 106.3, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Find official rules for all your favorite ESPN West Palm contests by visiting ESPNWestPalmContests.com. That's ESPNWestPalmContests.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3, the ESPN app, and streaming on your smart speaker.